created unity, you created moments of reset and peace for so many people from the diaspora tonight. What did it mean to look out on all those faces?
I think to me, what I thought about was when we started, and this was the mission from the beginning, and sometimes, maybe you get off the path a little bit, but you got to reclaim that and get back on it.
Lauryn Hill brought Diaspora Calling to the UK last night, and somehow the festival managed to be both a success and a complete frustration at exactly the same time. The one-day event took over Milton Keynes National Bowl with Lauryn Hill and Wyclef Jean celebrating 30 years of the score alongside Erykah Badu, Giggs, Fireboy DML, YG Marley and Zion Marley. This was the first UK edition of Diaspora Calling, a project Hill originally launched in Brooklyn in 2016 as a celebration of music, art, and the wider African diaspora. And judging by plenty of the reactions online, a lot of people genuinely enjoyed themselves. That is important because if you only looked at some of the clips circulating this morning, you might think Milton Keynes had turned into a fire festival with dreadlocks. One Instagram attendee literally described it as the worst festival ever, while other reactions have been far more positive. One post-event Skittle review called the festival amazing and said it should return next year, while still criticizing the timing, signage, and VIP food options.
Needed a sign to say why you should stay offline. Diaspora event is one of them. I had the best time yesterday. When I say the best time, the best time. And then I go online, I'm seeing people say it's the worst festival they've been to. They're complaining. But Dave Chappelle said it at the beginning. You lot call it Diaspora Calling. I call it Lauryn Hill Calling. Because that's exactly what she did. She called her friends and family. And it so happens to be that her friends and family are legendary.
So this was not universally regarded as a disaster. The performances appear to have delivered much of what people actually came for. Fireboy, DML, Giggs and Erykah Badu all performed during the day, and Lauryn eventually brought out her son Zion Marley before Wyclef Jean joined her as the show moved into Fugees territory.
That was beautiful.
And there was something genuinely special about Dave Chappelle being there. Chappelle's relationship with the Fugees goes back decades. At his legendary Brooklyn block party in 2004, he helped facilitate the first Fugees reunion since their original breakup, with Lauryn Hill, Wyclef and Pra all appearing on stage.
Yeah, big boss.
Calm down, little nigga. I know you like accident. Oh my God.
Erykah Badu was also part of that event. More than 20 years later, Chappelle was once again standing in the middle of a celebration, bringing Lauryn, Wyclef and Badu together. Wyclef has even said in the past that Chappelle was uniquely capable of bringing the Fugees back together because of his genuine love and understanding of hip-hop culture. So his presence wasn't simply some random famous comedian being hired to shout artist names between performances, but this is where reactions to Chappelle also become interesting. Some attendees apparently expected considerably more comedy from him. One comment I came across complained that Chappelle didn't really perform stand-up and at points seemed to be doing more karaoke than comedy. There is a slight problem with that criticism. The official festival advertising described Chappelle as the host. When you put one of the most famous comedians alive on the poster, people are naturally going to expect jokes, and bizarrely, the karaoke complaint fits perfectly with what Chappelle had been doing all week. Just days earlier at London's Even Tim Apollo, the Times criticized one of his stand-up shows as loose and underprepared. Chappelle reportedly sang some Bob Marley, wandered between subjects, and admitted he didn't really have a closer. That show also kept the audience waiting around 100 minutes before Chappelle finally appeared, which brings us rather beautifully to Lauryn Hill, because Diaspora Calling had a very strict problem waiting at the end of the night, 11 p.m. Hill reportedly didn't begin her headline performance until around 10 p.m., leaving roughly 1 hour before the National Bowl's event license expired.
Black people, we need to do better with our timing, because how is Miss Lauryn Hill being late to her own set and the show gets locked off? We went to what's it called, this 4 o'clock, however you say it, and they've locked off the show at 11 p.m. sharp. They said, oh, licensing, we have to finish at 11. So she was literally about to sing Killing Me Softly. I promise you, she was about to sing that. And they said, the show done, time is done. So that was about to save the whole day, but because of that, I'm not happy, man. Erykah Badu was okay. She was scaring me a little bit with her intense violin or whatever she was doing, her scary music. And then the DJs, interval DJs, they weren't warming us up. They were making me tired and yawn. So they need a do-over and they need to be on time. The potential was there, but this wasn't given enough.
There has not yet been an official explanation establishing exactly what caused the delayed headline start, although unsurprisingly, many attendees have blamed Hill's notorious relationship with punctuality, and Lauryn Hill arriving late is not exactly a plot twist. Her reputation for delayed concerts goes back years. Most infamously, an Atlanta performance in 2016 ended after less than 40 minutes because Hill arrived late and the venue had, you guessed it, a strict 11 p.m. curfew. Hill later defended herself by explaining that preparing creatively for performances required her energy to be properly aligned. 10 years later, Diaspora Calling essentially recreated the same problem on a much larger scale.
What a joke. Surely a production as big as that, Wyclef and Miss Lauryn Hill would have been briefed to say that the UK curfew was 11 p.m. Gearing up to close out their act, getting ready to give it the old shebang and the big finish off and that, and all the audio cuts out with a little message on the board saying, we are sorry, but because of the UK curfew, the show is now ended, or some fucking shit like that. And it just stops, and unless you're right up by stage, you can't hear a fucking thing that's going on. Come on. Millions of pounds probably gone into production and they couldn't get that one simple thing right. Timings. It's not hard. Oh, absolutely fuming.
Just as Lauryn and Wyclef appeared ready to launch into Fugee-La, everything stopped. The screens around the National Bowl informed the audience that the event had reached the end of its license and legally had to finish. People who had waited all day for what was effectively the main Fuji celebration suddenly found themselves staring at a message telling them to go home. And that is why the reaction is so divided. People aren't necessarily saying the performances were terrible. A lot of them seem to be saying the opposite.
I am genuinely heartbroken. The way yesterday ended, the way they locked off everything and Lauryn Hill was still on the stage jumping about and singing, broke my heart. My daughter's devastated. I cannot believe it. And the thing is, I would have accepted the fact that it was super unorganised. The queues were wild. The queues at the bar were ridiculous. The food thing, ridiculous. There was no set running order. I would have accepted all of that. If they let Lauryn Hill play Killing Me Softly. My heart's broken. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Shocked to my core.
They loved Erica. They loved Wyclef. They loved Lauryn when she eventually appeared. They enjoyed seeing different generations of black music together in one enormous event. Hill herself had described the festival beforehand as an attempt to connect communities throughout the African diaspora and create something centered around unity rather than division.
Diaspora calling, Milton Keynes. I need to speak about it. First of all, I had to catch my last train and Lauryn Hill came on late. Imagine I didn't even get to see Lauryn Hill. But I'm not talking about that because I can't do it. Okay? Anyway, obviously we heard a lot of beautiful words said and the focus on being connected to your roots and strength and power and just all of that jazz, yeah. Very nice words. It was a great message. You know, the whole event is a good message and it's power and all of that, but I'm here specifically to talk about Erykah Badu. Now, if you was there, please let me know because you know exactly what I mean. That shit was spiritual. I'm a very spiritual babes. Erykah is. I felt so connected to myself in that moment. Like, I don't know how she did that. I was crying. My friend was crying. The woman next to me was crying. Two men had like tears in their eyes, like near me. Like we were all locked in. It's more so towards the end of her performance. And her songs, like we've all heard them so many times, but it's like it was like the first time we've heard it, like you were really hearing the words that she was saying, like she was speaking to you. And obviously she was emphasizing some words and some songs, you know, like made a wrong turn back there, talking about, you know, and she was saying like, oh, what's she saying, like believe in yourself, and like all of these things, obviously very direct words that make you, that evoke emotion. But not even when she was doing that, just her presence and her energy were like doing something to you. Like that was spiritual. Like that was so amazing. I felt so connected to myself, and I need someone to tell me like if they felt the same way, because wow, like that was a performance. Like, and I feel like there'll be people in the crowd that maybe they really needed to hear them words and they needed that performance. And like I can imagine if you were in like a negative space or whatever and you had some negative energy, that would help you, like that would really help you in that moment. But I feel like even without having that, like that was evoking emotion. Like wow, I was so connected to myself. Like I'm so thankful I got to see Erykah Badu perform because wow. But we cannot be the only ones that think that way, and if someone sees this and they were there, let me know, because wow, oh my god, what a performance, what a spiritual performance. She was speaking to me, oh my god. What a day.
The frustration is that the festival appears to have been good enough that people wanted the ending they paid for, and that distinction matters. Diaspora Calling wasn't necessarily a terrible festival. It was a promising festival that completely screwed up its landing. If Lauryn Hill brings it back next year, and judging by some of the positive reactions, there is absolutely an audience for it.